You've been praying, you've been fasting, you've been sowing and serving and staying late at church, binding and loosing and writing increase on your vision board, and your bank account still feels like a glass table with a hairline crack, one wrong move from shattering. You love God, but you still feel the panic rise in your chest every time payroll delays or a bill hits earlier than you thought. You speak in tongues but freeze when HR sends a calendar invite marked update. Meanwhile, the guy at your office who never goes to church just picked up a second income, runs a simple side service on Saturdays, and has a cushion that could carry him 6 months. And you're sitting there like, God, am I doing something wrong? Why does it feel like the blessings skip me? Here's what nobody told you in church. Faith isn't fragility. If one check failing can break your whole life, that's not spirituality, that's exposure. One income is not faith, it's risk. I'm not condemning you, I'm correcting you, because you have been labeling vulnerability as virtue and fear as faith and hoping that calling it depending on God would keep the storm from testing your roof. But storms don't ask what you meant, they test what you built. Listen to me with your spirit open. God already answered the prayer you keep praying about money. He didn't just promise provision, He gave instructions, not slogans, systems. The Bible talks money thousands of times, not to make you greedy, but to make you grounded. And you will see, in black and white, that Scripture never asked you to balance your whole future on one employer's decision. You thought your check was your source. It's not. God is your source, and He commands stewardship that looks like preparation, multiplication, and yes, diversification. You've been faithful with prayer, that's real, but that's page 1. Faith without works is dead, and a dead faith cannot produce a living income. Some of you have been waiting on God to drop abundance out of the ceiling while He's been waiting on you to build streams on the ground. He doesn't reward wishes, He rewards obedience. So here's what I'm going to do in this teaching. I'm going to put Scripture first, not opinion, and I'm going to hand you a practical starter plan for 7 streams, even if you feel broke right now. Not prosperity gospel. Not name it and claim it. Biblical stewardship that can survive a storm. Breathe. The confusion you feel is not proof you're cursed. It's proof you've been under-taught. You are not crazy for loving Jesus and still feeling financially fragile. You are simply exposed because your life is hanging by one paycheck thread. Tonight we cut that thread and weave a cord. We're going to confront the lies, open the Word, and translate it into steps you can take. If you will stay with me and move when I say move, you will leave this with clarity, a map, and the courage to start building multiple portions. Not tomorrow, tonight. Stop calling it depending on God when it's really depending on one paycheck. I love you enough to say it plain. I'm waiting on God has become the churchy blanket you throw over passivity, the spiritual perfume you spray on fear so it smells like faith. You say, in God's timing, but what you really mean is, I don't want to learn a budget, pick a skill, or be a beginner again. You are not waiting, you are avoiding. And avoidance baptized in Christian language is still disobedience. Here's the line in the sand. Not prosperity gospel, not name it and claim it, not get rich quick. I'm not handing you lotto tickets in Jesus' name. I'm calling you into stewardship and obedience. God is not your slot machine. He is your Lord and your teacher. He gives wisdom, assignments, and systems. He doesn't reward wishes. He rewards obedience. What is biblical faith? Faith is trust plus movement. James says it flat. Faith without works is dead, and a dead faith cannot produce a living income. Abraham believed, and he went. Noah trusted, and he built before the first drop fell. The widow cried out, and then she borrowed jars, poured the oil herself, sold it herself. God multiplied it, but He multiplied movement. You keep bringing God a wish and asking Him to multiply zero. Zero multiplied is still zero. Let me expose a quiet idol that's been sitting on your mantle. Stability worship. You decided God's will equals one safe job with benefits, and you made an employer your functional provider. That is not covenant, that is comfort. Employers are not oath-bound to your destiny. They are not Ruth at your side. They are Pharaoh when the budget tightens. They can be a blessing, yes, but they are not your source and they are not your strategy. When you worship stability, you stop preparing for volatility. Then when volatility shows up, because it will, you blame God for a storm He told you to build for. So hear me. Dependence on God is not passively clutching one check and calling it faith. Depending on God looks like aligning with His patterns. It looks like learning, planning, working, and multiplying what He puts in your hand. It looks like obedience you can put on a calendar, not vibes, a plan, not slogans, systems, not safety, stewardship, and if you're wondering whether I'm stretching this, I'm not. God already answered this question, and He didn't whisper it, He wrote it down, in plain ink. He told you what to do when uncertainty is real and disaster is possible. We're about to open it. Ecclesiastes doesn't romanticize the unknown. It commands preparation. You've called one income fragility faith. Scripture calls it folly. In a moment, we'll read it word for word, and then we'll translate it into portions you can allocate tonight. Repent of passivity in your heart right now. Trade I'm waiting for I'm moving by faith. We're going to build the kind of dependence on God that looks like obedience in action. Open the book and stop arguing with it. Ecclesiastes 11:2. Give a portion to 7 and also to 8, for you do not know what disaster may happen on earth. That's not poetry for your refrigerator. That is an operating command. God is not guessing at the market or the weather. He is teaching you how to build when the future is foggy. You do not know. You cannot predict. So what does wisdom do? Wisdom portions. Hear it plain. Ecclesiastes doesn't romanticize uncertainty. It doesn't say, believe hard and the flood won't come. It says, disaster is real, therefore diversify. Give a portion to 7, yes to 8. Not one bucket, not one check. Not one fragile pillar holding up your whole house. 7, and then stretch to 8. Why? Because uncertainty is not a demon to rebuke. It is a condition to prepare for. Stop yelling at storms. Build rooflines for rain. You've been calling every disruption an attack. Sometimes it's not Satan. Sometimes it's life. Layoffs happen when leadership shifts or numbers go red. A quiet recession slips in and your hours shrink. A tire blows out. Your alternator dies. A child spikes a fever and you miss a week's income. A parent needs help and suddenly you're carrying another household's gap. Prices climb while your pay stands still. That's not a curse. That's the earth doing what Ecclesiastes said it would do. Disaster may happen on earth. The question is not if, it's whether your life is built with portions or perched on a single point of failure. Portion means controlled allocation, not reckless gambling. God didn't say, throw it all at a shiny thing. He said, divide it, spread it, small, wise slices across multiple outcomes, so one failure doesn't sink the ship. Portions are percentages you can point to. This much for reserves, this much for skill building, this much for a simple service, this much for a product, this much for investing, this much for building an asset, this much for real estate, this much for partnerships. You won't start with equal weights, but you will start with intention. That's what a portion is. Intentional, repeatable allocation under obedience, not impulse. And yes, generosity is holy. Tithing matters. That's real. But that's page 1. Ecclesiastes is showing you page 2, stewardship that can stand in a storm. You don't trust God by putting all your dependence on one employer and then speaking in tongues over a budget you never wrote. You trust God by honoring His system, give portions, build streams. Refuse to let your entire future hinge on a meeting you didn't schedule and a number you don't control. I'm not handing you vibes. I'm handing you verse. God already answered the prayer. Diversify, because disaster is real. You've been praying for protection. He's giving you construction. Portions, not panic. Systems, not superstition. If you will submit to this word, the anxiety sitting in your chest will start to loosen. Not because life gets predictable, but because your obedience built resilience. Now keep your Bible open. In a moment, I'm going to show you exactly how to translate 7, yes, 8 into streams you can start building step by step without quitting your job and without gambling your future. Tonight, we portion. Keep your heart soft and your ears open. Generosity is holy. Tithing is worship. Malachi wasn't lying. Honor God with the first and the windows open. Proverbs isn't confused. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. 2 Corinthians isn't playing games. Sow bountifully, reap bountifully. That's real. I'm not here to rob you of page 1. Keep your tithe sacred, keep your hands open, and keep your motives clean. God does bless obedience, but hear the correction that will save your house. Sowing is not a substitute for stewardship. An offering cannot do the push-ups you refuse to do. You cannot tithe your way out of a budget you never wrote, a skill you never sharpened, a debt you won't kill, and a life perched on one fragile paycheck. You've been bringing God's seed but then leaving your field unplowed. That's why your harvest keeps getting choked by weeds. Generosity without stewardship turns spiritual people into financial casualties. The Bible is not only a comfort book, it is a manual. Promises are page 1. Principles are page 2. You love the verse about windows of heaven, but you skip the verses about windows of wisdom. Jesus told you to sit down and count the cost before you build. Proverbs told you the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance. Ecclesiastes already commanded, give a portion to 7, yes, to 8. Joseph didn't fast only. He stored grain for 7 years because famine was coming. God gave you a system step by step, page by page. So here's the stewardship ladder we're climbing in this teaching. First rung, stabilize. That means a written budget and a margin on purpose, not vibes, numbers. Luke 14:28, sit down and count. Proverbs 27:23, know well the condition of your flocks. In modern language, know where every dollar grazes. Build a small cushion. Even if it's $25 this week, build it. Margin is oxygen. Second rung, eliminate leaks. The borrower is slave to the lender. Proverbs 22:7. Every interest payment is a tiny tax that steals tomorrow. And self-control is a wall around your city. Proverbs 25:28. If your spending has no walls, your income will always be a refugee. Plug the holes. Kill subscriptions you forgot. Tell your appetites no and mean it. Third rung, multiply. Now Ecclesiastes steps forward. Portions, not panic. Invest in 7, yes, in 8. Gather money little by little. Proverbs 13:11, and put it to work. Build streams you can point to. Sharpen the primary skill. Add a simple service. Package a product. Invest in cash-flowing portions. Build a sellable asset. Enter real estate with discipline and leverage partnerships with clear agreements. This is not a one-week miracle. It is a system you stack month over month, year over year. Set your expectations right now. God is not late. He is orderly. He will not multiply chaos. He multiplies structure. We are about to walk this rung by rung. Stabilize, eliminate leaks. Then multiply until 7 streams stop being a sermon note and become your normal. Not tomorrow. We begin tonight by honoring page 1 and committing to page 2. So when the storm hits, and it will, you're not praying for a bailout, you're standing in a house that was built to survive. Before you build 7 streams, plug the leaks. Jesus already told you what to do before you build anything. Luke 14:28, sit down and count the cost. Budgeting is not secular, it's not optional, it's obedience, it's spiritual warfare. You keep rebuking debt and binding overdraft fees, but you won't sit down for 60 minutes and count. That's not demonic resistance. That's disobedience disguised as devotion. Stop calling chaos an attack when it's just a calendar you refuse to write. If money keeps disappearing, your problem isn't income first. It's leakage and lack of a plan. So here's the war plan. Tonight, hear me, tonight, do a 30-day money audit. Write down every expense, every single thing. If it leaves your hand, it hits the page. Coffee, tip, gas, parking, that small app subscription, the late-night scroll purchase you don't want to admit. Write it down. Use a notebook, a notes app, the back of an envelope. I don't care about the tool. I care about the truth. What you don't track will keep bleeding you, and you cannot heal what you keep hiding from your own eyes. Now, margin. Margin is protection. Margin is oxygen. Even a small cushion, $50, $100, $250, changes your decisions. Desperation is expensive. Without margin, you say yes to predatory rates, you swipe in panic, you accept toxic clients, you overdraft and pay a tax for being unprepared. With margin, you can pause, price properly, wait a day before buying, and keep your peace when a tire blows. Start a tiny emergency fund and feed it every payday before you touch anything else. Automatic, first, non-negotiable. Let me expose the common leaks that are sinking you while you pray for more rain. Subscriptions, free trials that turned into monthly taxes you forgot. Audit them and cancel ruthlessly. Food, convenience, drive-thrus, delivery fees, I deserve it. Coffees, death by 1,000 swipes. Plan meals, pack twice a week to start. Impulse spending, your thumb has become your thief. One-click dopamine is draining destiny. Create a 24-hour rule before any non-essential buy. Helping beyond capacity. You are not the Messiah. Love with wisdom. If you give outside your plan, you are stealing from your own household. Set a generosity line and keep it. Lifestyle inflation. God gave you a raise and you turned it into a car note and a bigger phone plan. Freeze your lifestyle for 90 days and let the gap become margin. This is not just math, it's character. The fruit of the Spirit includes self-control. Proverbs 25:28 says a person without self-control is like a city with broken down walls. That's your bank account when you refuse discipline. No walls, no gates. Any appetite or advertisement walks in and takes whatever it wants. Build walls, set limits, name every dollar before the month begins. Zero-based, every dollar on assignment, giving, bills, food, debt, cushion, growth, not vibes, numbers. Do not wait. Tonight, sit, count, and write. Gather last month's statements, highlight the leaks, cancel 3 subscriptions, set a weekly food cap, and withdraw it in cash if you must. Automate $25 into your cushion. This is how you stop the bleeding. This is how you stabilize the house, so when streams start flowing, they don't just run out through the cracks. Proverbs 22:7 says it without romance. The borrower is servant to the lender, slave. Feel that word, not partner, not peer, slave. Every monthly payment is a small shackle around your future. A slice of tomorrow already sold to yesterday's decision. You keep calling it just a bill, but it's a master with a due date. Debt doesn't only cost you interest, it costs you options. It robs your ability to portion to 7 because your portions are already claimed by creditors with your name on their invoice. Let me pastor you and confront you at the same time. God will make a way, you say, while you ignore a 24% interest rate that is quietly burning your harvest. God can make a way, but you must walk it. Faith without works is dead, and a dead faith cannot kill a living interest charge. Deliverance in this area is not a prayer line alone. It is discipline on a calendar, not vibes, payments, not excuses, execution. Here is the simple war plan. Step 1. List every single debt, smallest to largest. Balance, minimum payment, interest rate, due date. No hiding. Put it on paper where your fear can't edit it. Step 2. Automate the minimums on every debt to avoid late fees. Protect your walls. Step 3. Pick the smallest balance as your target. Why smallest? Because momentum is spiritual. Proverbs 13:11. Wealth gained little by little grows. Kill one, then roll that payment to the next. That's the snowball. Every extra dollar, found money, side hours, the subscriptions you canceled, the drive-through you skipped, aim it like a spear at one target until it dies. Step 4. No new debt while you're at war. Freeze the cards, literal freezer if you must. If you keep digging, you don't have a shoveling problem, you have a surrender problem. Step 5. Make the phone calls. Ask for rate reductions, waive a fee, set a hardship plan. Humility is cheaper than pride. Why does this matter for Ecclesiastes obedience? Because diversification runs on margin, and debt devours margin. You cannot allocate portions to 7 when Visa already owns your portion, the car note eats your portion, and buy now, pay later is swallowing your portion in 4 easy installments. Your future is on layaway to a lender. That's why even small wins matter. Free $50, then $100, then $300 a month, and suddenly you have fuel. Fuel to sharpen your primary skill. Fuel to launch a simple weekend service. Fuel to package a small product. Fuel to begin investing in small, wise portions. Portions, not panic. Funded by freedom, not financed by bondage. So here's what you will do tonight. Make the list. Automate the minimums. Circle the smallest and set a monthly attack number, even if it's $50. Sell 3 things you don't use. Call 2 creditors before noon tomorrow. Put a sticky note on your card. Slave. Every time you want to swipe, read it. Pray, then pay. Kill a payment, reclaim a portion, and watch how obedience turns into oxygen. You're not cursed, you're chained. Pick the lock, one payment at a time, so we can build the streams God already told you to build. Stream 1 is not glamorous, it's your blade, your primary skill. Sharpen the blade before you swing it. Ecclesiastes 10:10 says if the axe is dull and he does not sharpen the edge, he must use more strength, but wisdom brings success. You're swinging harder when you should be sharpening smarter. Proverbs 22:29. Do you see a person skilled in their work? They will stand before kings. They won't stand before obscure men. Translation: competence is a promotion magnet. Skill moves you from waiting on favor to walking in it. God multiplies what you develop, not what you neglect. Stop praying for a raise you haven't prepared to carry. Stop asking for open doors while you show up late. Avoid hard tasks and coast at good enough. That's not persecution, that's performance. Daniel stood out in Babylon because an excellent spirit was in him. Excellence is spiritual. Bezalel in Exodus 31 was filled with the spirit for craftsmanship. Skill is sacred. You want God to breathe on your income. Put something excellent on the table, not perfect, excellent. Increasingly competent, increasingly valuable. Here's the principle. Your first stream is maximizing the wage of your main work through skill and value. Not side hustle first, sharpen first. Take the job you already have and turn it into an engine. How? Pick one high-value skill adjacent to your role. If you're in customer service, learn sales fundamentals and objection handling. If you work in operations, learn project management and process mapping. If you're in admin, learn spreadsheets, dashboards, and basic analytics. If you're in trades, level up to a certification that lets you price higher and pull permits. If you're creative, learn marketing funnels and pricing. One skill that moves the revenue needle where you already sit. And don't tell me you can't afford to learn. YouTube is free. Your library card unlocks LinkedIn Learning for free in most cities. Community college night classes are inexpensive. Your employer has training budgets and tuition reimbursement you've never asked for. Google Career Certificates, HubSpot Academy, Microsoft Learn, AWS Free Tier, Free Code Camp, Zero Cost Paths, Score. Org mentors are free. Auditing Coursera classes is free. You have no excuse. Stop scrolling content you never apply. Learn, then ship. Set a 30-day skill sprint, not tomorrow, tonight. Step 1. Choose the skill and define a measurable outcome that matters to your boss or your buyer. Reduce average handle time by 10%. Close rate up 5 points. Error rate down by half. Output up by 20 units. A new certification earned. Step 2. Schedule daily drills. 45 minutes minimum, 5 days a week. Watch, practice, build. Step 3. Ship a weekly output. Week 1, a cleaned spreadsheet with a dashboard. Week 2, a process map with 3 bottlenecks removed. Week 3, a script that answers top 5 objections. Week 4, a mini portfolio or case study. Step 4, get feedback every Friday, manager, mentor, or the market. Step 5, document wins in a 1-page impact report, numbers before/after proof. At the end of 30 days, present the impact, ask for expanded responsibility or a raise, or apply those numbers to a better paying role. If they can't pay, negotiate education, time, or title that increases your market rate. Excellence is leverage. Kings pay for value. And if your employer still won't see you, the market will. Your sharpened blade is portable. Tonight, pick the skill, open the first lesson, block the time on your calendar, put your phone in another room, drill, build, ship. God is not ignoring you. He is inviting you. He doesn't reward wishes. He rewards obedience. Sharpen the blade and watch the first stream begin to push. Now we add a second stream, not by quitting your job, not by buying a franchise, but by doing the simplest, most biblical thing. Trade your time and skill for money without inventory or fantasy. Ecclesiastes said portions, not panic. This is a portion you can start with a phone and a calendar. One service, one person, one clear price. Stop waiting for a grand opportunity. Start with a clear offer. Movement is your evidence of faith. A service stream is the least glamorous, most dependable start. It's you solving a small, repeatable problem for a real human on a schedule. No warehouse, no Kickstarter, no someday brand. You show up, you serve, you collect, you repeat. Cleaning a 1-bedroom apartment, tutoring algebra or ESL for an hour, bookkeeping for 3 solo entrepreneurs, editing podcasts or resumes, landscaping, leaf removal, or snow shoveling, moving help on Saturdays, social media management for one local cafe, basic website edits, dog walking, pressure washing. Choose something you can do with competence by Friday and excellence with repetition. Package it tight. Vague doesn't sell. Let me know if you need anything is poverty language. One offer, one result, one price. Examples: standard apartment clean, 1 bed/1 bath, $129 flat, supplies included. 60-minute algebra session with practice set and grade tracking, $45. Monthly bookkeeping up to 100 transactions. Reconciled by the 10th, $200 per month. Social media reels package. 8 clips. Captions plus scheduling, $300 per month. Put a start and finish line on the promise so people can buy without guessing. Clear beats, cute. Specific beats, sprawling. Now the spine. Integrity. Proverbs 11:1. The Lord detests dishonest scales. Deliver what you promise. Better yet, deliver a little more. Show up 5 minutes early. Communicate before they ask. If you break it, fix it. If you fail it, own it and make it right. Build with clean hands or watch it crumble. Colossians 3:23. Work heartily, as unto the Lord. Your reputation is your marketing flywheel. 5 honest jobs done well will outpreach 1,000 flyers. Here's the war plan, and I mean tonight. Step 1. Pick the service and write the 1-sentence offer with the price. Step 2. Message 10 people before you sleep. Friends, neighbors, old co-workers, your small group. Here's what I'm offering this week. 2 spots. First come. Step 3. Post it once publicly with a simple photo and a booking link or your calendar windows. Step 4. List it on one platform that matches the service. TaskRabbit, Thumbtack, Nextdoor, Facebook local groups, Care.com, Rover, Fiverr, Upwork. One platform, one listing, not research, action. Step 5. Secure payment terms. Deposit up front or pay at completion. No exceptions. Step 6. Do the job. Ask for a written review and ask for 2 referrals by name. You're praying for overflow while stepping over the faucet. Start the stream. Not tomorrow, tonight. Obedience on a calendar. Portions, not panic. 1 service, 1 person, 1 price. Then do it again next week until the drip becomes a flow. God multiplies what you move. Stream 3. Stop only selling hours. Sell outcomes that repeat. Hear me, time-only income is fragile. If you don't work, it stops. That's not spirituality, that's exposure. Ecclesiastes told you to portion because disaster is real. Proverbs 31:18 says the virtuous woman perceives that her merchandise is profitable. Her lamp does not go out at night. Translation: she built something that earns even when the house is sleeping, not witchcraft. Work structured into merchandise. Outcomes that repeat. A product stream turns what you know into something people can use without you standing there. Not hype, not passive with no effort. It's front-loaded obedience that keeps dripping after you stop for the day. Matthew 25. The talents multiplied in the hands of servants who moved, not the one who buried. A product is you refusing to bury your knowledge in your calendar. It's a jar you fill once that can pour many times. Start small. Start honest. Product types that need little to no capital. Digital templates and checklists, guides and mini ebooks, simple curriculum or lesson plans, spreadsheet calculators and trackers, photography packs or presets, printable planners, SVGs, swipe files, pitch decks, email scripts, workshop replays, and print-on-demand designs on shirts, mugs, or notebooks. Don't romanticize it, clarify it. Solve one defined problem. Bridge your service into a product. Document what you just did for that client. Turn your process into a checklist. Turn your script into a template. Turn your recurring answers into a 10-page guide. Turn your onboarding into a Notion or Google Sheets kit. Record a 20-minute walkthrough where you screen share the steps. That's your first product, built on reality, not fantasy. Integrity is non-negotiable. Proverbs 11:1. Dishonest scales are detestable. So don't sell what you haven't tested. Don't promise results you never achieved. Don't plagiarize, build with clean hands. Make it clear what the product does and does not do. Include instructions. Offer a simple 7-day refund if it's not a fit. Deliver a little more than you promised. Here's your 14-day MVP plan, and I mean on the clock. Day 1. Choose one recurring question your clients keep asking. Write the outcome in one sentence. Day 2 to 3. Outline the steps and the mistakes to avoid. Day 4 to 6. Build version 1 in a Google Doc, Canva, or a spreadsheet, template, checklist, or calculator, plus a plain English instruction page. Day 7. Record a 15 to 20-minute Loom walkthrough. Day 8. Hand it to 3 past or current clients for feedback. Watch them use it. Day 9. Revise ruthlessly. Day 10. Set up delivery with a simple payment link, Gumroad, Etsy, or a Stripe checkout, and a basic landing page with what it is, who it's for, what's inside, and how fast it works. Day 11. Price it modestly for proof, $19 to $49. Day 12. Message the same people who already asked you for help. Built this to solve the exact thing you DM'd me about. Want it. Day 13. Go live for a 1-hour workshop teaching the framework and include the product with purchase. Day 14. Collect testimonials, add them, and schedule version 1.1 for next week. Not perfect, published, not someday, shipped, portions, not panic. Tonight, list 3 questions you answered this month. Pick one, open a blank doc, and write the outline before you sleep. Faith moves. Obedience builds. God multiplies what you move. And a product is your movement captured, packaged, and allowed to work while you rest. Stream 4 is where Ecclesiastes stops sounding like poetry and starts operating like plumbing. Give a portion to 7, yes to 8, for you do not know what disaster may happen on earth. You are not predicting the future, you are preparing for it. Cash flow investing is obedience in slow motion. Small portions spread wisely, repeated consistently, so that while you work, while you rest, and yes, when the fog rolls in, there is still a drip, drip, drip of provision that is not chained to your shift. First, stabilize the base. An emergency cushion is not doubt, it's wisdom. Joseph didn't pray the famine away. He saved against it. Give yourself a small buffer, start with $500, then grow toward 1 to 3 months, so you don't yank your investments out in a panic the first time a tire pops. Then move from emotional giving and emotional spending to unemotional investing. Systems over swings. Automate the obedience. Here's how portions look in modern clothes. Use the wrappers that were literally built to help you. Workplace retirement plans like a 401k, 403b, or TSP, especially if there's a match. That match is free bread on the table. Pick it up. Outside of work, open a Roth IRA or traditional IRA based on your situation. If you're eligible, an HSA functions like a stealth investment account with tax advantages for medical costs. Inside these wrappers, choose simple engines, broad market index funds, or ETFs that own hundreds or thousands of companies at once, not just your favorite logo. Add a dividend-focused index or fund to introduce a cash flow drip, dividends that can be reinvested to compound or later taken as income. Proverbs 13:11, whoever gathers little by little makes it grow. That's dollar cost averaging, the same dollars every month in good weather and bad, refusing to flinch. Remove the drama. Automate a starter portion, 5% of your paycheck, into the plan you have access to. Can't feel 5% yet? Start at 3% and add 1% every month until you hit 10 to 15%. When you get a raise, you don't raise your lifestyle first. You raise your allocation first. Set the transfers to hit on payday before you see it, before your appetites can negotiate. This is spiritual warfare against chaos disguised as convenience. Not vibes, systems, not someday, scheduled. Now the rebuke that will save you money and sleep. Stop baptizing gambling as faith. Options you don't understand. Margin you can't afford. Meme stocks, hype coins, shiny narratives promising tenfold by Friday. That's not stewardship. That's temptation with a chart. Proverbs 28:20 warns against haste to be rich. James calls desire dragged away by its own lust. If you can't explain how it makes money to a 12-year-old with a pencil, you have no business putting a tithe of your destiny in it. No leverage, no FOMO, no friend's tip. Slow is holy when slow is obedient. Tonight, hear me, tonight, log into your workplace portal, set 5% automatic. If there's a target date index fund, pick the one nearest your expected retirement year and move on. If you don't have a plan at work, open a Roth IRA in 20 minutes, link your bank, and schedule $50 every payday into a broad index fund. Turn on dividend reinvestment. Put a reminder in your phone to increase the percentage the day your next raise hits. Portions, not panic. Gather little by little. This is not Wall Street worship. This is Ecclesiastes obedience. You're not trying to guess the future. You are honoring God by preparing for it. And preparation is the place where His multiplication meets your discipline. Stream 5 is identity. Builder, hear me. God isn't just trying to get money to you. He's teaching you how to build something that lasts. Proverbs 24:3-4. By wisdom a house is built. By understanding it is established. By knowledge the rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures. Translation: houses that last are not held up by vibes. They are framed by systems. And Proverbs 13:22. A good person leaves an inheritance to their children's children. You can't leave a shift. You can only leave an asset. If you stop and the money stops, that is not a business. That is a shift with better branding. If you have no process, no pipeline, no documented way to deliver, you are not diversified. You are tired. Ecclesiastes said, portion to 7, yes to 8, because disaster is real. Assets survive what freelancers fear. Assets can be sold, delegated, or licensed. Assets outlive your week, so climb the asset ladder on purpose. Step 1. Freelancer. Proof you can deliver value for money. Step 2. Productized service. 1 standard offer, fixed scope, fixed price, fixed timeline. Step 3. Agency/system. Document the steps so a trained person can deliver 80% of your excellence without you in the room. Step 4. Small team. 1 operations brain, 1 sales voice, a roster of delivery hands. Step 5. Sellable asset, brand, contracts, SOPs, customer list, recurring revenue, clean books. That is when a buyer can look at your work and see value without you personally attached to every task. Start with first systems, not fancy software. A simple CRM in a spreadsheet. Columns for name, problem, offer sent, status, lead/sold/working/complete, last touch, next action, invoice date, amount, referral source, testimonial collected, a standard offer 1-pager, who it's for, exact deliverables, timeline, price, boundaries, an onboarding checklist, invoice sent, intake form received, access granted, kickoff date scheduled, folder created, deadlines loaded, a delivery checklist, step-by-step tasks with quality standards. A referral ask script you send at delivery. If this helped, who are 2 people I should serve next? Basic bookkeeping, a separate business bank account, a weekly 20-minute money meeting, every receipt captured, income and expenses categorized, a portion set aside for taxes, and a simple monthly profit and loss you actually read. Integrity and excellence are the glue. Proverbs 11:1. Dishonest scales are detestable. Sloppy systems are a dishonest scale in slow motion. Clients pay with their peace while you pay with your reputation. Colossians 3:23, work heartily as unto the Lord. Excellence is evangelism. Clean hands, clear scopes, on-time delivery, fast fixes when you miss. Build with truth and your brand compounds trust. Here is the command, and I'm putting a clock on it. Choose one existing stream to systemize this month. Not 5 new ideas, one thing built properly. Week 1, write the standard offer and onboarding checklist. Week 2, build the CRM sheet and load every lead and past client. Week 3, document your delivery steps and time each one. Week 4, run 2 jobs entirely by the checklist and ask for 2 referrals each. Tonight, open the spreadsheet, title it Pipeline, and type 10 names. Not tomorrow, tonight. You are not cursed, you were unstructured. Become a builder. Turn your hustle into an asset God can multiply, and if needed, you could sell. Stream 6 is where a lot of people lose their minds and call it faith. Hear me, real estate is not magic, it's management, math, and maintenance, not I saw a TikTok and now you're a landlord. Luke 14:28, Jesus told you to sit down and count the cost. Roofs leak. Tenants move. Furnaces die in January. Insurance jumps. Taxes adjust. If your numbers don't include reality, your investment is just wishful thinking with a mortgage. Ecclesiastes 11:2 said portion to 7, yes to 8, because disaster is real. Real estate can be one of those portions, but only when it carries itself. If it doesn't pay its own bills with room to spare, it's not an asset for you. It's a hobby with paperwork. Joseph in Genesis 41 stored in the years of plenty so Egypt could eat in famine. That's reserves. That's margin. If a $2,000 water heater would require a prayer chain and a GoFundMe, you're not ready to buy. Not yet. Build the cushion first. Start small and local. House hack. If you have a spare room, that's a stream. Rent it clean with clear house rules. If you've got a garage corner, list storage. Got a driveway near a stadium or a downtown, parking by the month. If your city allows it, midterm rentals to traveling nurses or professionals, 30 to 90 days, can be steadier than weekend chaos. If you're not ready to manage humans and hardware, start with REITs, Real Estate Investment Trusts. Inside the investing portion, you already set up. They're baskets of properties that pay dividends. Portions, not panic. Stewardship rules, non-negotiable. Never buy what you can't maintain. Budget repairs before they break. Keep reserves, at least 3 to 6 months of expenses for the property, parked and untouchable. Your math must include vacancy. Set aside a percentage every month. Maintenance, plan on it. Don't be surprised by it. Capital expenditures, the big stuff, roofs, HVAC, property management, even if you self-manage, count it in the deal so your time isn't invisible. Taxes, insurance, and utilities if applicable. And after all of that, it still needs to cash flow. Not theoretically. On a spreadsheet, then in the real world. Know the state of your flocks. Proverbs 27:23. That means you know roof age, sewer line material, last HVAC service, local landlord-tenant law, permit rules, HOA restrictions, and short-term rental ordinances. No illegal listings, no backdoor Airbnbs you can't license. God will not bless dishonesty. The Lord detests dishonest scales. So don't fudge the numbers to make a bad deal feel holy. If a barber chair and a calculator couldn't explain your plan in 5 minutes, you don't have a plan. Here is your command, and I'm putting a clock on it. Pick one pathway, house hack a room, rent storage or parking, pursue a legal midterm setup, or allocate a portion to a REIT, and spend the next 2 weeks learning the local numbers. 2 weeks, nightly. Step 1, get real rent comps. what actually leases, not what you wish. Step 2, call 2 property managers. Ask vacancy rates, typical maintenance costs, and tenant screening standards. Step 3, pull property taxes and insurance quotes on 3 sample addresses. Step 4, run 5 deals through a simple analyzer that includes vacancy, maintenance, capex, management, and your mortgage. If it doesn't cash flow on paper, it won't in life. Step 5, walk 3 properties with an agent and crawl the basements. Listen for the house to tell the truth, your emotions won't. No offers, no emotional buying. Counting first. Tonight, choose the path. Open a spreadsheet titled Local Real Estate Numbers. Enter 3 addresses, 3 actual rents, and the full expense stack. If the numbers work on paper, keep learning. If they don't, pivot to renting a room or starting with a REIT portion while you build reserves. You are not cursed, you are impulsive. Slow down, store in plenty, plan for lean, and let discipline turn property into a true stream. God won't multiply your fantasy, He will multiply your obedience. Hear me. 7, yes, 8 includes people, not just projects. You counted properties and products. Now count partnerships. Ecclesiastes 4:9. 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. Translation: aligned relationships multiply output. Some of your next dollars won't come from more hours. They'll come from wise agreements, referrals, joint ventures, affiliate income, licensing, royalties. Diversification isn't only more jobs, it's more channels through people who are running the same direction. But don't you dare confuse chemistry with covenant. Amos 3:3. How can 2 walk together unless they agree? Agreement is not a vibe, it's written. Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision, make it plain. Proverbs 11:1. The Lord detests dishonest scales. If you can't put the split, the scope, the deadlines, the decision rights, the IP ownership, and the exit terms on one page, you don't have a partnership, you have a future argument. Integrity protects relationships and money. Roles clear. Money split net of defined costs. Who collects? When paid? Who owns the customer and the content? How to end without setting the church group chat on fire. Write it down. Sign it. Keep your word. Simple entries you can start this week. Affiliate what you already use. Software you pay for, tools you trust, books that shaped you. Only what you actually use. Don't become a shill. Post one helpful tutorial or case study and include the link. Disclose it plainly. Set a referral agreement for your service. 10 to 20% on closed work paid within 7 days of invoice. A one-pager is enough. License a template or curriculum you built to a coach or a school. Flat fee plus royalty per seat. Co-host a workshop with a complimentary pro 50/50 after defined costs. Record it and sell the replay for a continuing royalty. Musicians and designers register your work and license it. Stock sites, sync libraries, POD platforms. Luke 16:10, faithful in little, ruler over much. Start with one small, clean deal. Pride is expensive. Ignorance is even worse. Proverbs 15:22, plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. Get a SCORE mentor. Visit your small business development center. Sit in a local business group. Ask the boring questions that prevent the dramatic disasters. How do you structure splits? What clauses save friendships? What's standard for rev share and refunds? Your humility will make you money and keep your witness. Here's what obedience looks like on a clock. Step 1, tonight. List 3 people running parallel to your lane. Same audience, different skill. DM 1 with a one-sentence collaboration. Problem, promise, price, split, date. Not coffee. A proposal. Step 2, this week, book a free session with SCORE or your SBDC. Bring a draft one-page agreement and ask them to rip it apart. Step 3. Publish one affiliate resource you actually use with a plain English tutorial and a disclosure line. Step 4. Create a simple referral page and send it to 5 past clients. Here's exactly who to refer and what you earn. You are not cursed. You were isolated. God multiplies what you move, and He often moves it through people. Portion to 7, yes to 8. Write it down. Keep it clean. Start the partnership tonight. Hear me. 7 streams is not 7 tabs open in your browser and your blood pressure rising. 7 is a system. Portion to 7, yes to 8. Ecclesiastes 11:2, but in order. When you allocate on purpose, panic loses its power. Here's the sequence so you stop spinning and start building. Step 1. Stabilize. Budget like it's spiritual warfare, because it is. Luke 14:28. Sit down and count. Write a zero-based plan. Plug the leaks. Build a small emergency fund. Start with $500. Grow toward 1 to 3 months, so you don't sell tomorrow to pay for a flat tire today. Step 2. Kill debt. Proverbs 22:7, the borrower is slave. List them smallest to largest. Pay minimums on all. Attack the smallest with rage and rhythm until it dies, then roll the payment to the next. This is deliverance by discipline. Step 3. Maximize your primary skill. Ecclesiastes 10:10, sharpen the axe. Proverbs 22:29, do you see a man skilled in his work? He will stand before kings. Get better at what pays you now. Negotiate raises, upgrade competence, increase your main engine. Step 4. Launch the service side stream. One problem, one person, one price. Move your feet. Faith without works is dead, and a dead faith cannot produce a living income. Step 5. Productize your process. Turn what you repeatedly do into a template, guide, or kit that can sell while you sleep. Not hype, harvest. Step 6. Automate investing. Portions, not panic. 401k/403b/TSP match first if available, then Roth or IRA, simple index funds, dollar cost average. Proverbs 13:11, gather little by little. Step 7, build a business asset, systemize, SOPs, recurring revenue, clean books, something you could sell, not just something you do. Step 8, real estate without fantasy. Count every cost, keep reserves, cash flow after vacancy, maintenance, capex, and management, then move. Step 9, partnerships and royalties, clean agreements, clear splits, honest scales, multiply through people, not drama. Portion framework for a starter season, 70% living, 10% debt attack, 10% emergency/investing, 10% skill/tools. In heavy debt season, push 20% to debt. In growth season, shift to 15% investing and 10% asset build. This flexes by season. The posture doesn't change. Some of you need 2 streams first, not 7 tomorrow. That's not compromise, that's wisdom. 7 is a direction. Spread risk over time. Common traps, hear the warning. Starting 5 streams and finishing none. Quitting the service after 2 slow weeks. Upgrading lifestyle before systems. Hiding spending from your own eyes. Chasing hype, calling it a door God opened. Not prosperity gospel, not name it and claim it. Systems and stewardship. Command, choose your next 2 moves for the next 30 days and schedule them tonight. Not a wish list, a calendar. Week 1, budget meeting every Sunday night and 1 paying service booked. Week 2, smallest debt killed and 5% auto invest set. Week 3, ship 1 product MVP. Week 4, document 1 process toward an asset. Your calendar reveals your faith. God multiplies what you move. Allocate your portions on purpose. Panic ends where order begins. You are not cursed. You were unstructured. Start tonight. Hear me now. You are not cursed, not forgotten, not doomed to be the most prayerful and the most panicked. You are not under a cloud. You were under chaos. And chaos breaks when order walks in. God is not teasing you. He already answered the prayer in your lap. Ecclesiastes 11:2. Give a portion to 7, yes, to 8, because you do not know what disaster may happen on earth. Translation: depending on one check isn't faith. It's exposure. Obedience looks like preparation. Faith moves. Stewardship builds. Multiplication follows motion. Stop naming fragility trust. Call it what it is. Risk you refuse to spread and skills you refuse to sharpen. That's not an indictment. That's an invitation. You are a builder. You are a steward. You are the kind of person who sits down, counts the cost, allocates the portions, and survives storms with oil still in the jar. If you're breathing, God is not done. He doesn't reward wishes. He rewards obedience. So here's the charge, and I'm putting a timer on you, not tomorrow, tonight, 1 hour. Set it. Move. Pick one skill and name exactly how you'll sharpen it for 30 minutes a day. Course, playlist, mentor, practice block on your calendar. Write a zero-based budget for next month. Every dollar assigned before it wanders. List every debt, smallest to largest, and star the first one you will kill. Draft one service offer in 1 sentence. I help person solve problem for price in timeline. Automate 1 portion. Minimum 5% into your 401k/403b/TSP or Roth. Set the transfer tonight. Build one system, a simple pipeline spreadsheet with 10 names and next actions. Then send one message to start the first stream. I'm taking 2 clients this week to do offer. Want in or know who needs it? That's your proof. That's your faith in motion. God multiplies what you move. The widow poured until the jars ran out. Her preparation set the cap on her miracle. Joseph stored in the years of plenty. His planning fed nations in famine. Proverbs 13:11. Gather little by little. Ecclesiastes 11:2. Portion to 7, yes to 8. This is not Wall Street worship, not prosperity fluff. It's scripture-applied stewardship. It's you refusing to let one layoff decide your children's future. It's you obeying with portions, systems, and skill until panic has nowhere to live. Your calendar reveals your faith more than your captions, so schedule the war plan. Budget Sunday night. Debt attack on payday. Skill block daily. Service outreach twice a week. Investment auto draft every check. One asset process documented every Friday. Small steps repeated until stability becomes your normal and generosity has room to breathe. If this hit you, don't just nod, move. Like this, share it with the one friend who keeps saying, I'm waiting on God, while God is waiting on them. Subscribe so you don't drift back to vibes. And in the comments, name your first 2 streams and the one action you're taking tonight. Not ear-tickling freedom through obedience. Start tonight. Allocate your portions. Build resilience. Watch God multiply.